Hello everyone, Dr.Animatronic here with my first unboxing video and very first time on camera in any shape or form. So it's nice to finally get on the channel, and here I am with my third Jill, still wrapped up, ready to be unboxed. Okay, so let's get straight into this and I'll tell you a bit more about my history with Jill while we open it. Okay, so I was late to Jill's party, very late. Didn't discover her probably, despite the fact that I have been interested in robotic toys, animatronics, all that sort of thing for years. With her, yeah, she just come along a little bit too late, so I kind of missed the boom really, and she is now extremely hard to find, especially in the UK, and very, very rare. But what I am into is doing her up, repairing her. She's one of my favourite animatronics to work on. She's certainly not the simplest, but I like a challenge, and she can be a challenge. But that's part of the fun, so it's all good, I don't mind. Okay. So, as I said before, this is my third Jill. First one, like a lot of people in the UK, I imported from the States, where she primarily lives, although she can be found in a few other places, like Canada, New Zealand, places like that. But the UK, nah, super rare here. So I imported the first one, and yeah, she was not as well packaged as you can see this one here. This seller's actually gone to a lot of trouble to bubble wrap the original box, which is great, so hopefully there won't be too much damage on that, which is why I haven't been slashing the knife around everywhere. Don't want to start slicing up her original box. But unfortunately the first seller put absolutely no, and I mean no, packaging in the box with Jill whatsoever. Anybody that knows anything about Jill, she, for a start, is extremely heavy. You know, she's not a plastic vinyl doll, you know, she's made of hard plastic predominantly, apart from her face. And yeah, with all the mechanics and everything else, even without batteries, she is really, really heavy. And you cannot send her with no packaging, because she destroys herself in the box, which is exactly what happened. So she flew the 7,000 or whatever it is miles over to the UK. Every minute she was turned, she was smashing against the sides of the box. And sure enough, her arms, luckily, were okay, but her knee joints were completely smashed, to the point where I wasn't able to repair them. So since then, I've been able to rebuild them using parts from a second Jill that I got, which, funny enough, turned up in the UK. It was thanks to an acquaintance of mine, who actually the seller got in touch with, and said, oh, you know, do you know anybody who'd want this Jill? And he was like, yeah. So I was right round there. That Jill, I haven't actually finished restoring her yet. She's got a lot of work to be done. So as soon as I get the time, I'll do it. This will be the third one. Just bear with me a second. Like I said, this seller has actually wrapped it properly, which is good to see. So just slice that a little bit. Like I said, just being careful that I do not damage the original box underneath. Okay, here we go. That's more like it. Put the knife down a second. Okay. So this Jill, apparently, I mean, the seller has been very honest, to be fair, which is good, and I'll soon find out if that's the case. She has said that over the years she has deteriorated. She does that, like any other mechanical electronic toy, but let's be honest, she is not far off 40 years old now. She's only a couple of years younger than me, and yeah, she does not do well sitting around doing nothing at all, which is unfortunately what a lot of people do with young Jill. Yeah, she looks great, very pretty doll, all the rest of it, but you've got to keep her running. And even if you do, drive bands are going to wear out, gears are going to gum up, electronics are going to fail, that sort of stuff. But that is what myself and a few more of my friends are up to. We are working on basically preserving her as best we can. So there are people I know who have dozens and dozens of Jills, and then myself. I mean, I shall never have that many Jills, but what I'm trying to do, as you've seen on my channel, is preserve her audio, because her tapes are fast deteriorating. I mean, unfortunately there's nothing we can do about it. They are what they are. The late 80s saw cassette tapes produced with inferior lubricants, unfortunately, and yeah, they have just deteriorated to the point where now they create a lot of drag in cassette players. You get white powder build up in your cassette tapes. That's the lubricant breaking down, all that sort of stuff. And Jill, unfortunately, is particularly prone to that. And she's been designed, unfortunately, in such a way where, yeah, it was a great invention at the time. And you know, they designed her tape deck completely from scratch. Her tapes, or the way they work, is completely unique to her. There's never been anything else since. There was certainly nothing around at the time, and that's a fantastic achievement. However, she was not designed to last nearly 40 years, which is why, you know, we collectors are having so much trouble with her. However, it is possible to repair her, and we know, if you've got the right amount of time and parts and all the rest of it, and that's what we're working on. So right, let's get into this. I'm finally inside the box. That's enough of me yakking on. So first things first, we've got a first job shoe with the original shoelace as well. As you can see, bit of mould developing on the shoe. You get this a lot with Jill's shoes. Kind of gets into the plastic, into the vinyl, into the materials. Again, I think of all the shoes I've got, I think they've all got that sort of patchy. Okay, that's not part of her. Bit of cardboard. They've all got that sort of patchy stuff. Right, I'm just going to lean the box over quickly here, and I'll show you the rest of it. But at least you can see now on this box. Let's pull this down. As you can see, that is her original, the Caucasian Jill anyway. That's her original box. Okay, in here what we've got. Okay, a couple of her flyers. Wonderful. And here we are. A Jill original tape, or OG tape as I call them. But in pink. I think I've got a green one as well somewhere. As I'll explain in technical videos I plan to do at some point, Jill's tapes are extremely fragile, and they contain a lot of information which, if it's lost or the tape head can't read it accurately, it causes her to do all sorts of crazy things, unfortunately. And, you know, can sort of really impact on your enjoyment of Jill, because you'll find that she won't do half the stuff she's supposed to do if she can't read the information on the tapes. So, but anyway, more on that later. Continue with the unboxing then. So here is her outfit for slumber party. You can see on here there is a few marks here and there, but again, these materials are nearly 40 years old now. But yeah, as you can see, it's the Jill tent. I didn't have this set before. And I'll tell you what, the elastication in her waistband is actually, it's actually really good. Crikey. Not used to seeing that. You know, I've got Mickey Mouse and Goofy at home. Both their trousers are absolutely knackered. The elastic's completely stretched. But no, Jill's, yours is still absolutely fine. Okay, here's the other first job shoe. Again, with the original shoelace. Okay, right, this is the fun bit. So what I'm going to do, because I need to use both my hands, is I'm just going to remove Jill out of the box, and I'll be right back. Okay, Jill is out of her coffin, as you can see down there. And yeah, let me tell you, as I should think the seller of this will probably watch. She knows about my YouTube channel, so she'll probably watch this. Good job wrapping her up. Thank you very much indeed. As you can see, her arms are bound by her sides with the bubble wrap, so they can't move in transit. That's excellent. And her head is well covered as well. It's exactly how you need to treat Jill. You can't allow her limbs to move at all. Otherwise, as I said, her own weight will come crashing down on them at some point, and things will break. You know, Jill is one of the most fragile things I've ever come across, and I've worked on loads of animatronic toys, but she is the one. You know, you even drop her, knock her over, knock her into something, something's going to snap off or crack, whatever else. You know, 40-year-old plastic. Yeah, it doesn't last long, unfortunately. But yeah, as you can see, she's like a mummy in this bubble wrap. So Let's see if we can pick away at it and see what we get. I believe the owner has actually taken very good care of this Jill. Mechanically, she's always going to fail, doesn't matter what you do. But if you can look after her on the outside, then, you know, you're doing a good job. Because chances are, there she is, chances are you'll be grateful for it later, because as you can see, her hair is still original. Yeah, it's a bit flat in places, but it's all still there. Got her hair bands in there, they're original. Yeah, and she's actually really nice and clean. Let's do the ultimate test. I'm sure it will be fine. Got no reason to doubt it. But yeah, we're good. Can't move her eyes, shouldn't be able to. It doesn't look like you can move the eyelids either. Good, good. So, nothing dodgy, hopefully, about this Jill. We'll see. But yeah, as you can see again, even bound. Look at that. This is a fantastic job by this seller. Even bound her shoulders as well. Wonderful. And I'll tell you what, you might not be able to see on camera because my camera is not the best. It's not got the best camera on it, my phone. But her clothes are extremely clean. That's probably the cleanest I've seen an original outfit to be. Wowee. This is exciting, folks. This was a good, you know, this was a good buy from, yeah, from obviously a seller who cares about what she sold. So it's all good. Right, again, I'm just going to take a break while I unwrap the rest of her because I will not be able to do it and I don't want to risk dropping her for the reasons I've just said. So I will be back yet again. Okay, I'm back. Now look at this, attention to packaging detail. Like I was just saying, bound every single part that could possibly move on Jill's legs have all been bound. Fantastic. I was expecting it to be good, but this is, honestly, this is really, really good. Her limbs actually feel just fine. Whereas if the seller hadn't bothered to do any of this, you could guarantee that at least a knee joint would be broken or possibly her heel, because they're really delicate as well. But no, she is well wrapped. So fantastic news about that. Right, let's get into her a bit more without making you wait for me to completely unwrap her. So let's have a look in the back. Okay, so alright, as you can see in there somewhere, let me just change the light a bit. There we go. All good. I can't see any corrosion at the front. That's never a good sign. If you look in the back and that metal plate at the bottom that the tape slides over is covered in like a white powder, something like that, you know there's been some moisture in there at some point. That's never a good thing because moisture and corrosion spreads very quickly, especially in Jill because she has a few metal parts. Okay, this is the back of her hair. As you can see, she has... You can tell with this one she's got all of her hair. I'm afraid my first Jill, as it turns out, thanks to some advice from my friends, I discovered that she had about half the hair that she should have. It had been butchered at some point. I've done the best I can with it, but this one does not have that problem. Luckily, Jill, you've got all of your hair, haven't you? So that's all fine. All right, hands. Completely intact. Wrist is pretty... Yeah, wrist is pretty good as well. Not too loose. That's fine. This one. Again, got all her fingers. Excellent. And her arms, I'm pretty sure. So let's check this shoulder. Yeah, that is attached. And this one. Excellent. So nothing wrong with her shoulders at all. Because that is a nightmare to repair. Not impossible, not impossible. If you know what you're doing, you can do it. You can fix her arms. But the problem that we have is the pegs. The pegs, there are no spares available. If you're lucky enough to have several Jills where you can swap out parts, then you can do it that way. But hopefully one day we'll get some 3D printed. We might be able to make duplicates and then swapping them over. Although time consuming will be possible and we'll be able to rebuild her arms at some point, which would be great. Okay. She's got original shoes, as you can see, again, original shoelaces on the bottom. On these shoes, though, yeah, a couple of mild spots, but again, not too bad. So that tells me that this Jill has been stored pretty well. Her accessories, not necessarily, but it can just happen. But she's just too clean, you know, for me to believe that she's been anywhere dodgy. I think she's been stored very well. Okay, let's check the battery compartment in the back. conscious I don't want this video to be too long, so I'll just show you main thing. But like I said, she's really heavy, so holding her like this is killing me. Yeah, no, everything's clean on there. Fantastic, no corrosion whatsoever. And her tape head, I can't show you on camera, it's not clear enough, but her tape head actually looks pretty clean as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do then, just as a treat for you and to say thanks for all the support you've given me, all the new subscribers, all that sort of stuff since I started bringing Jill content out. Just for you, I'm going to clean her tape head, put some batteries in, whack the tape in, and yeah, see what she does. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Here she is. Just a quick update. I've checked all her limbs. Everything is absolutely fine. Knee joints, ankles, hip joints, everything is absolutely fine. So chuck the batteries in, bits and pieces. So yeah, so here we go. Don't panic if she doesn't do anything. I'm not going to panic. It's absolutely fine. There isn't an awful lot on Jill mechanically that I can't repair, to be honest with you. I'm quite used to working on her now. And yeah, and it's a lot of fun. I do enjoy it a lot. So if she doesn't work, no sweat. And at some point on the channel, you will see an update of her when I've completely restored her. Same as the second Jill. And there will be more videos to follow on the first one, I promise. I'm just really busy at the moment, but I will crack on with those. Made time for this unboxing video. I'm glad I did, because like I said, this is a great example of where you receive a Jill that's actually been looked after, was packed properly. She's got no damage. You know, physical damage on the outside, and like I said, internally from what I can see, there aren't any major issues just yet. But yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, here goes nothing. Alright, so got a couple of issues, as you can hear, but one of the primary issues, as usual, is her tape. I can tell straight away. A lot of the trouble there is just her tape. It's just really dry. There's friction going across the tape head. That's why she's squealing. And you can hear there's some slippage as well on her. Probably her pulley, I should think, because the drive belts are stretched and egg-shaped, which means that they're not rotating at the speed they should be, and it's inconsistent speed as well, so you get what's called a wow and flutter effect. But no, don't worry, it's nothing to worry about, that's fine. As you can see, her neck motor is clearly working, but her movement was a bit, you know, jagged, if you like. Again, she's probably not reading the data track correctly, and the data track tells Jill everything, tells her main board everything. When to move, how far to move, how often to move, everything's on there. I will explain it more in my technical video, but everything is on that data track, so you know the tape head must be able to see it at all times. It monitors it constantly, because every single instruction is on there. Like I said, you know, how far to move her arms, when to move them, when to blink, when to move her mouth, all the rest of it. And depending on the data that it's read, you know, depends on how well she behaves or how erratically she behaves. If you get segments of data that are missing, she will freeze effectively. The audio will continue to play, but you won't get the movement. So then it will just look jagged and inconsistent all the time. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with the motors or anything like that. If that happens, it's more likely that the data track sections of it are unfortunately deteriorating or missing, been wiped completely, you never know. Or it might be the head needs realigning, we'll see. I'm just going to run it one more time, just have a little listen to her head. I'm going to get this a bit closer, see if you can hear it as well, because I just want to see if her head motor is working as well. Let's see, because that's an important one.
Fabulous! And you know what? We're getting so good at that song, we could go on tour if we had the right name for a group. Sometimes I love to just sit around and make up names for rock groups. Sometimes I even think of different stage names for myself. I mean, I love the name Jill, but I might need a more dramatic name if I'm going to be a movie
so no,
star.
you'll all be pleased to know I can hear her motor in her head. That is working. Can you hear it?
What should we do now? I know. I have it I've written to my pen pal in a long time.
And the data
and I
track
wanted to
actually
tell
looks
her all
like
about
it
my new best
is
friend, you.
reading correctly at the
Maybe
moment.
we could do that. Or we
She's
could
a little
have
bit
your
shaky,
control.
but
After all,
you could soon tell because she'd never stop.
Been heard from in a very, very long time. Perhaps you would like to look into the future.
Yeah, those motors are
I
running as
think
well.
would be more fun, so you choose.
Yeah.
Should we go with Madame Jillerina or my pen pal?
Pen pal. Love it when she ignores me. She'll just decide now.
I didn't understand you. My pen pal. Her name is Jillian, spelled with a D.
Yeah.
She's from England.
She also. Okay, let's stop this for a minute.
Just like me.
Okay. All right. So just to round it all up for you, then, folks. Okay, so we've got drive belts, which are stretched basically, but all her motors that I can, because you can feel the vibration through the arms, you can hear it in her head. All the motors are working, and they're all working correctly, I would say, as well, because you can hear the pulses from the motor in her head. You can hear, according to the vocals on the audio, when the motor should be running, and that is moving as it should be. But because the drive belts are all dried out, they might have even snapped, you never know, but usually it's because they've stretched, they're slipping, and motors are turning, but you're not getting any movement in her face. But don't worry, that is, I mean, she's time consuming to dismantle, but the actual repair itself, yeah, that won't take long, so I'll soon get that done. Her arms, again, they're just slipping, but they're totally attached. I did see some twitches, so they are just stretched, I would say, on the drive belts again. So yeah, so there's also an issue with the volume as well, which I've noticed. That was actually at full volume, which, yeah, is nowhere near as loud as she should be, so I'll take a look at that as well. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you ever so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed all of my videos, and you've appreciated all the audio extracts from Jill in their remastered condition. I've spent hours and hours working on those to try and make them as crystal clear as I can, but I'm dealing with tapes that are, yeah, fast deteriorating, and it's not your fault, Jill, but you just were not designed to be around this long. So we're doing our best. We're going to preserve them. Big shout out to my mate over the pond, Corky and Cricket's Clubhouse, and of course featuring Jill TV. A lot of inspiration for me for getting a Jill in the first place, that channel. Some fantastic stuff on there, so go and check that out. Large collection of Jills, and also you can hear all of her stories there as well. So, and all performed by the range of Jills over in his channel. As for myself, I will bring out those technical videos that I promised, which basically what I will do, head to toe on Jill, go all the way through, and I will tell you exactly how she works, what she's supposed to do, when she's supposed to do it, and all that sort of stuff, and all these little problems that I've come across while I've been refurbishing her, and all the research I've done and all the rest of it. Because yeah, poor old Jill, yeah, she even if I repair her, she may break down again. It's just the nature of her, I'm afraid. She is, at the end of the day, a very complex, especially for the time, robot, android, whatever you want to call her. That's essentially what it is. Strip all this back and she's literally a robot doll. I've got more complex animatronics than her in the collection. I've got Lovabella dolls and things which are essentially computer controlled, if you like, on their PCBs and things like that. And Jill is an early version of that. She does have a processor, so she is technically run by a computer. But with this, the computer relies on getting the information from the tape. So, which is why it's so critical that the tape is working as best it can be, and why her cassette deck is usually the culprit for any audio issues and, of course, any fallouts with the data track and all her other audio tracks as well. But like I said, the main reason for that actually is the deterioration of her tapes. I can get the cassette decks working as best as possible, but if the tape is inconsistent, damaged, kinked, whatever you want to call it, she's eaten it at some point, you try to spool it back up again, it's permanently damaged. It's not like you can iron this stuff. It's it's kinked, so forevermore she's going to run over her tape head, and she's going to lose a little bit of data or a bit of audio. it's just what you get used to with Jill, but we do the best we can. The audio recordings you've heard so far on YouTube are the very best that I can do with the tapes that I've got. But hopefully, if you've enjoyed it, then that's great news to hear. Makes my time worth it. If everybody can share the enjoyment of 1987's Jill here by that world famous Playmates, who are still around by the way. She tried to put them out of business. It was almost successful, but you've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to thank for them still being around. So, but anyway, we're keeping the legend of Jill going, myself and my friends. So for now, that's it from me. Take good care of yourselves, and yeah, please keep liking, subscribing. Chuck any comments you've got in the comments. Love reading those, and I'll reply whenever I get time. And you will see her again, and my other Jills as well, I promise. All right, bye for now.